enthusiasm. I got your for you if you're looking to keep busy. Here are the details.
I'm here.
September 1st, the first month of September. This year is going by quickly. How are you doing? Today I'm joined by, I should introduce him first. Today I'm joined by my co-host, Kalrati. How are you doing, Kalrati?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, FC. I am happy to be here. Excited to jump into some lots of talk, lots of discussions about Star Citizen. And how are you going?
I'm doing pretty well. How's your week been?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just getting ready for the new semester to begin. Just getting some work done, getting some, 3.17.2a on the live servers. I started playing as soon as the patch went live. It was a bit of
Oh,
a
you
rough
did?
start in the beginning, but today was a lot better. It was a lot more stable, apart from the long-standing bugs we may have to experience until 3.18.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get into the new patch, but we'll talk about that later on the show. But as for me, I'm continuing to watch Sandman and She-Hulk. I adore She-Hulk. Some people aren't so happy about it, but I'm enjoying it. I found out that finding a place to poop for women is a thing. I didn't know that. I don't know why, but okay, that's fine.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Have you been watching She-Hulk?
I haven't. I'm waiting because I'm actually finishing up on Sandman, and as soon as I'm done with that, because I'm kind of in the middle of the entire season, and as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to jump straight to She-Hulk because I've been pressured to start it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it has its moments. It may not be for everyone.
Okay.
So, by the way, if you want to join us for this discussion, please click the link. I put it in chat. It's Discord link, and you can hop on in and join us and talk about Star Citizen. This weekend Star Citizen.
Come.
What else is going on? Oh yeah, Andor. The Star Wars Andor TV show. I thought that was supposed to start yesterday, but evidently they delayed it 3 weeks. It starts on the 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Did I
that's
scare you for a
true.
moment?
Yeah, because I've been about 1 month ago, I was definitely kind of on top of all of the shows, like knowing when they're coming out, and it's like I think it was 2 days ago, a friend of mine said that She-Hulk came out. I was like, hey, what? What's the date today? And I've been trying to like catch up with everything. So
Yeah,
I haven't watched Lords of Power. Was it Lord? What's the continuation? Yeah, Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
And the one for House of Dragons. I haven't
House of
started those
Dragon.
yet either.
I haven't
And I'm
started
like,
those either.
so,
I mean,
yeah.
there's too many fantasy shows and not enough modern or sci-fi shows, you know?
That's true. That is true.
Fantasy is the way it's at, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you know that Saturday is National Cinema Day? Certain movie theaters are showing movies for $3 each. So
I heard that, and
so
I
you
was
can,
kind of hoping IMAX would do the same, but I haven't heard anything about IMAX locally here. So I'm like, okay, if I have Banolia, I don't care. Shucks.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to hang around that many people because I think COVID is still on the uptick. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's on the uptick here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to venture out. But I do want to see Thor in the theaters before I see Thor 2 next week.
I forgot Thor. I haven't seen Thor yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to do it this weekend, it's coming out next week on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I may.
Like I said, I want to see it in theater before I see it on Disney Plus. So yeah, National Cinema Day on September 1st, Saturday.
Right.
But make sure you
Gotcha.
watch those voices in between those. So
Of
you can
course.
go to
Of course.
movies,
Tune in,
go
guys.
watch us, then go back to the movies again. That's
Yeah.
the way to go.
There we go.
Oh, so yeah. One final thing is that the Marvel MMO that I've been playing, Marvel Future Revolution, MF4.
Yeah.
They're having a bit of trouble. Marvel, the game company that developed them, have laid off or rerouted 70% of the people who worked on the MMO. So people in the
Whoa.
community are up in arms, and is the game canceled, or should I spend money? So yeah, that is not looking good. But and the thing is, I finally found something that's modern day or sci-fi.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend years in this game, and this is what happened.
Yeah.
It's like
That bites.
Firefly all over again.
Is it because of funding, or like the parent company isn't really okay with the direction or something?
Yeah, the parent company is trying to make more
Mm.
money, but they've been down making less money than they anticipate in the past
Okay.
couple of quarters. So that's what they're doing.
Oh, that bites, man. That bites.
Yeah, so I may be looking for another game in between Star Citizen.
Yeah.
While I
Currently, I'm playing. Well, I've been so out of it. I literally forgot the game I was playing today in between Star Citizen. Right. I've been playing the the Spider-Man 2 remake, and for the PC, and I've been really enjoying it. I haven't enjoyed a Spider-Man 2 game since I was a console player in Spider-Man 2 days when I was going. I think I was in high school or no junior high or something or middle school back then. So
you mean like 2 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. Of course, exactly. So yeah, especially the swinging. I love the locomotion, how fluid it actually feels. So I think they kind of paid respects to what the developer did and the team at Insomniac. I think that at the time with the swinging for Spider-Man 2. So it was really nice to see those kinds of animations. So yeah.
I never got into the swing. I mean, I'm not no pun intended. The swing of things for Spider-Man. Because, I mean, yes, he's a big Marvel hero, but I was more
Yeah.
into DC and Superman and stuff like that
Okay.
when I was growing up. But have you
Discuss
played
it
Marvel
next segment.
Avengers?
I haven't, but I have watched. I think it was it Rad Brad do a walkthrough. But I haven't played it.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be able
All
to
right.
have the time to, but it's been nice. I think.
All right. So you ready for me to do my thing?
Do your thing.
All right. So this is for I'm gonna explain later, but people in the know will understand where this comes from. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna smack me like a little bug. I'm a dead man. Yes, I'm a dead man. Hello, Mr. Burglars. You think maybe we could talk about this project thing like gentlemen? Okay, I tried. I'm gonna drag people down while you ponder where that is from.
You do that.
We're joined by Gomab and Potspace so far. And yes, I put your link in chat, so if you want to join us, please go ahead. How are you all doing?
Fine, thank you. I'm all right. Was that Home Alone?
No, not Home Alone.
Um,
Hey, Jade.
Hello.
Kalrati, you of all people should know where this from.
Me?
yeah, he knows what it is.
He doesn't. No, he
I
doesn't.
He knows.
He
He
has no clue.
knows.
He
He's
has no clue.
faking.
Wig. I
He's
am not
faking it. He's faking it.
This is
Fitchface
genuinely-
Fitchface put it in chat.
Yeah,
Blank man.
he's
Really? It was in
faking
Black Man? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was Blank Man. Well, okay, that was before his time, but still, he just saw it this weekend.
Yeah, we just saw it. Oh man. Okay. That's my bad.
All right.
I still like Home
So-
Alone better.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, for some weird reason, we should discuss this first. There was no sneak peek this past Friday, so there's no sneak peek. But instead, what we're going to do is talk about something that just released yesterday. Starjump
No
Fleetviewer.
pictures. No
No
pictures of
picture.
Pyro.
No.
No teasers.
But we had something. Well, I don't want to say even better, but we had something different for a change. This is the Starjump Fleetviewer promo.
Oh yeah, I've been playing with it. It's awesome, man. I'm proud of those guys for getting it out, and gals.
Totally.
The Starjump Fleetviewer. And it's available now at starjumpfleetviewer.com or hangar.link. So yeah, so let's play with it for a little bit. Okay, let's start with Kalrati's fleet real quick. So this is Kalrati's fleet.
My little pet could.
You can see that he had how many ships?
I have
7?
a whole javelin fleet of ships, man.
Javelin, folks.
Ask me
Yeah,
for
that's
my
about right.
ships. Hell.
7 ships I count? Yeah, 7. Including the meal. So yeah, I'm gonna unlock the canvas so we can move it around. So yeah, this is a whole bevy of things. We can change the background, you can change the quality of the picture, you can change the orientation of the picture. Let me select all ships. So yeah. So I have your file, so I can get it back the way it was. But yeah, we can do it like this: the top view, you can give it the side view, give it the front view, and this is the isometric default view that they did. And you can change it to change the way it points. This way. No, maybe not.
One of the things that I do like about it is that they're using a lot of icons as opposed to the words more, so that especially those who aren't English speakers, they can definitely go about using these icons as a continued iteration of the previous hanger. So that's nice, I mean, because as an English speaker, we may sometimes overlook these things, but as non-English speakers, I really like that they continue to actually go far with this, apart from some of the English words that still exist.
Now, what's funny to me about your fleet, I'll start real quick, is that you had the Aurora. It's called the Aurora MR King, but it's like Aurora Mr. King.
Well, actually, that's a nice ring to it, the Aurora, the Mr. King. That actually is for whenever we get the ability to name our those kinds of ships, I think that's what I may call my Aurora. Mr. King Aurora, yeah.
If there's a way to, like, if you've got, say, 20 ships and you just tap them out, is there a way to auto move them around, or do you have to physically move them
what you want to do? Okay, I'm going to, let me go to my fleet. Not going to mess with here. So this is my fleet. And before I get into it, I want to show you that we can move the stuff around. And this is pretty much in real time. But I have a high quality, so that's why it's a little bit laggy. But if you zoom, you can zoom all the way in. They even got the Titan suit in there. So it's not in my hangar yet, but it will be. So that's why I included the Titan suit. But yeah, if you unlock canvas, I'm going to select all. Click selection first, and then go to canvas setting. You can. I have to. Did I select all? No, I didn't. So let me select all first. Oh, so what do you want to do? You wanted to recenter or something?
If you can like say, just like select all these ones at like first. So say you just throw in like 10. Can you make them like be a giant circle with like one click?
I don't know about a circle, no.
Or do you have to move them around physically?
Move. If you want a circle, you got to move them around. But
The CC creators like auto layout, yeah.
Yeah. But like if you want to make a certain,
it's on there. It's on the right hand side. See it? It's above generate image. Is that what it is?
No, so it basically just lines them back up in the regular lineup. I don't think they have too many different layouts yet. Remember, guys, this is the V1.
This is alpha.
Yeah. No, it's released, but it's just the first version. I'm sure they're going to be adding more complexity more features to it. I'm just really happy to see it out. It's I know they
They
worked
look
really hard on this.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
did an
worked really hard on the
amazing job.
models.
So yeah, thank you, Kusanagi, for putting the link in chat. Yeah, you can see how big the BMM is compared to. It's like the size of 3 ships, wide.
FC just wanted to show
He
off.
just wanted to talk about the BMM. That's
Exactly.
What's going on
Thank you.
there. He's like, look at that tiny little exploration ship there, all next to the BMM.
Oh yeah, and you can change backgrounds, and you can do all sorts of stuff in there. So has everyone else been playing with this today?
Oh yeah.
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 Probably
I
just-
didn't know I had to do my fleet, so I'm going to do that right now because of you.
Well,
Fastcart.
actually, before you go in and do your fleet, one of the things that you can do is you can go to hangar.link and you can actually link your hangar, your Star Citizen hangar to the site where it can pull in your fleet directly from the RSI website, so you don't have to add your ships in.
But that's like a load file, right? But how do you attach it?
You can actually, you don't have to. So there's if you go to hangar.link, there's a way for you to for it to attach to your actual to the RSI's website.
Yeah, what you
you'll
want
have
to
to
do,
be logged
what
into it at the same
what
time.
you want to do is log in, and then you export. You export that file, and then you can load it right back in, and you'll see everything.
So yeah, you can, like I said, you can change the orientation of the ships. That's not really good for you. Let me center this real quick.
Oh, there's for your browsers. I know I'm using it in Chrome right now. There is a Hangar Link Connect. That's a browser add-on that allows it to do it directly. You don't have to actually export the JSON.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that is the hangar link, and that's my fleet with the Titans through the tap. This is his Kalrati's fleet. And yeah, so everyone will be able to export their fleet and put it in our images in Discord if you wanted to. So go ahead and do that. All right. So up next we have Jump Point is now available. This came out last Friday after the show, so we were in the last show. But attention subscribers, the August issue of Jump Point is now available in the subscription area. This month features an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the various features, and it came online with the arrival of Deep 17.2 and a portfolio of the infamous Unification War. And if you want to become a subscriber, you can click on the link inside the Jump Point page. So has anyone checked out this well, I guess to say this month, but it was last month, Jump Point?
Yeah.
Same.
What else did you? Anything particular caught your eye?
You know, I gotta go back and look because it's been a while since I looked at it.
They
Yeah,
did
anyone
talk
else?
about
Go ahead.
just it was what's his name, Clive Johnson. He spoke about the justification to just some of the things that we heard about before with regards to the 100 player cap and those things. So it was nice to see like his explanation from his point of view and such. And then the very last page showed the subscriber flare for the Zeus suits. I think they showed 3 versions, so I'm really excited to get those in my hands to see how they look and everything. And yeah, so I think they showed a lot more too. I can't remember some. I think was it some ship variations or a particular ship. I can't remember that part, but I remember those 2 things, and it was nice to see, especially the Zeus suit being be shown off in the very last page.
Oh, now I
okay,
remember. I remember what stuck out to me was they did a thing on how the UNE, the first Earth government, came to be. So it's called the Unification Wars, and it explains basically what led up to the UNE being formed. So I don't know. For people that like lore, it's pretty cool. It goes into like what New York City was like back in the 24th century stuff.
New York City. No one got that reference.
New York
Oh,
City.
shit.
There you go.
I remember that.
Hey, DK, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Just busy with work.
Hmm.
You
Oh,
know,
so, yeah, go ahead.
just to briefly touch on Jade's point, it would be nice one time to see like or have like an SCL, an updated SCL with like a lore person, a game design person, and see, how the lore literally translate to a particular kind of environment or game design. So because we have all this lore and we do know that, the game designers, they get the information from the lore, but like how do they actually communicate, So it would be nice to see that kind of thing happen in real time. I know it would take a lot more than 1 hour, but if they can prepare something, something very, very simple to see, okay, how does that translate from lore to something being in the game itself? So
Yeah, like
They've
you
probably
could,
done that before, but it's been a while since I've done.
it's been a
they
while.
covered it.
Yeah.
What were
yeah.
you going to say,
Like,
Jade?
I was gonna say because like everything ends up starting with the lore, so they could definitely have like a lore person, and then like a environmental art person, and then like a level designer.
Right.
So you get like all facets of how you go from something just being a cool story to then how it looks in game to then what the gameplay around that location is.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So up next we have. Oh yes, everyone's favorite topics. We're going to be covering this each week until the big finale. So yeah, the ship showdown had the grand finals. And this is before they had the voting going on. They had the Pool A had the Redeemer, Gladius, Warden, and Scorpius. Pool B had the 600 dice Explorer, not the other version. The Terrapin, Kirk, and 400i. And Pool C, the Hard Day's Work, had the Cutlass Black, Mercury Star Runner, the Cutlass Star Runner, the Freelancer Max, and the Argo Wrath. And Pool D has the Avenger Titan, the Aegis Eclipse, and Pisces, and the Mule. So yeah, as we talked about last week, they had to take out the PTV because they want to rework it, so they don't have to rework it twice in order to add the skin. But everyone will get a skin for the PTV when that happens.
Woo.
So yeah, this is the image of the bracket. So you can go down the list and see what's coming up. But yesterday they had the Redeemer and the Gladius, and I think the Redeemer won. Today we have the Scorpius versus the Warden. I have not voted yet. Has anyone voted, and what did you vote for today?
I voted Scorpius.
Same. Let's try to influence FC to do the same.
Yeah, vote Scorpius.
Why?
Scorpius got enough votes. I voted Warden.
I voted for the
Okay.
Warden too.
Ironically,
2 for
I
2.
actually
2
want
for
the
2.
Warden. Yeah, I don't know why, but ironically, I want the Warden as a heavy fighter in game as my main heavy fighter. But I don't know why I just went for the Scorpius. Maybe it's because I got hit by the whole bug with the new shiny. But
Well,
I
it's a
gave the
very
Scorpius
cool
my love.
ship.
It
It's
is.
I mean, it's really cool, and I kind of think it showcases what RSI could turn into. Like everybody wants the Aurora to have wings like that now, but I mean, in terms of a heavy fighter, I it's a little bit limited on the gas because I think it is a carrier ship. So I picked the Warden.
Okay, so CC's creator said he voted for Scorpius too. It was 3,000 points up. Because
Nice.
it's 3,000 points up, only because it's 3,000 points up, I'm voting for the underdog. I'm going to click right now on the Warden
Okay.
and
Okay.
confirm.
Okay.
Well,
I'm-
here's the
I'm
reason
gonna-
why I voted for the Warden and not the Scorpius. As a heavy fighter, it bothers me that it does not have an interior.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
As a
that's
fighter, it
that's
bothers
that's a
me
good point.
Again,
that it
it's a
has
carrier
tank
ship.
tracks on it. If it
Does
didn't
it
have the
have what?
tank track, I might have voted for it. I don't know.
It's just that they was like wheels, tank tracks, skids. Who cares? But as a heavy fighter, you know what I'm saying, it's I would have liked for it to been. I mean, hell, you've got like small fighters that have interiors. Look at Avenger, So I don't know. It's to me, it would have fit better in the archetype of a medium fighter,
Yeah.
of a really strong medium fighter.
Well, it is kind of cheap. Well, kind of cheap. Well, relatively, it's 220, and the Well, I guess the next one under that has a medium fighter because the Saber doesn't have one. I know the
Right.
Hornet doesn't have one. So does the
Well,
Hurricane have one?
No, so the Hurricane, I guess Hurricane is considered a heavy fighter as well, and that's one of the things that I'm like. I think heavy fighters should be fighters with interiors and 2-man, or in a turret. A medium fighter should be like bigger than light fighters.
Or it can be 2 women go mad.
Yeah,
I'm messing with you.
Marine?
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. You just needed your joke in, didn't you? You just,
Yep.
yeah.
I saw that one coming.
Yes. No, I think but like the Hurricanes, the Scorpius, the Gladiator, those I think would fit nicely into the medium fighter range.
Yeah.
And then the like Vanguards and other fighters that have like interiors, because we're gonna have room in this game for a lot of those types of ships, right? And then I think people will stop complaining about the light fighter meta if you rearrange it like that a little bit.
No, they always argue about some kind of meta. It just depends on what the meta, what's going on. And King Turtle, thank you for coming in to chat with us. King Turtle said they're just gonna vote for Aegis. Whatever Aegis comes up, they're gonna vote Aegis. So straight down the line, Aegis.
Okay.
At least it's not Drake.
Right.
So
He used to call me on my cell phone.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know if you can see this on screen. Probably not. No, it's too far down. But Redeemer won is 15,793 votes to Gladius 12,177 votes. So yeah, the Redeemer won the first round. So yeah, we'll be continuing that or covering that each week as it updates. So should be good fun, and we can go down the line of what ship we voted for and why. But yeah, today is Scorpius versus with the Warden. So make sure you get your vote in. All right. So up next we have the Galactapedia. Kalrati, would you mind covering this?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second because I accidentally closed it along with the patch notes.
Kalrati, no biscuit.
I just posted it.
Oh, thank you. So let's rewind and let's do this properly. Okay, so the Galactapedia. So they spoke about the ARC, the TIAC system, and they gave a full-length article about the P5G Gladius, which is a famous fighter for the UEE Navy. So that's actually pretty cool for you if you're curious about the the fighters and the names that they actually held within the UEE Navy history. And also they gave some short articles about some star systems, some planetoids. So one that actually struck me a good bit since the very beginning was the Nemo system. I haven't read this one, but I do remember reading the one from the original kind of thing. So, but I did enjoy, at least from what I can remember, hearing about the Nemo system, partly because of the name and partly because of the history behind it. So anyone who's curious about all these planetoids, these planetary bodies, and these star systems, go on, check it out. It has a plethora of many of these locations in this Galactapedia update.
So you want to know how bad my hearing is? You said Nemo system. For some reason, my hearing and my mind went emo system. I'm like, wait, there's an emo system? I don't remember anything called emo.
Okay, fastcart. Getting a bit emotional there, man. Getting a bit moody there. Oh, that reminds me of my high school days, man. Wow.
Right.
Well, yeah. So anyone else have anything that stuck out with them from the Galactapedia update? No? Well, you said the Nemo system, but the Nemo 1 or Nemo 2? Or both of them?
It was both of them, actually. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember exactly like all the history behind it, but I just remember that I really liked the Nemo system and reading up on it.
Okay, cool. Yep. So that is the Galactapedia update. Side of Hope
Yeah.
2047. So I'm interested in finding what that is, but okay. The Hope
I'm getting over the flu, and I swear with everything else going on, everybody forgot how much the flu sucked. So I haven't read
How
anything.
do you got the flu? How do you know it's not the other thing?
Because they test for both at the same time now.
Ah, okay. I would like to say that the Cabal system, the cluster there, it looks like it has more Tavaran tech, so we should be expecting more Tavaran stuff to come out of there.
Oh, okay.
That would be nice.
Yeah. And the fuel system is United top 10 most livable system in 2946. That was, that's 30 years ago. So who knows? It probably went down the toilet by now.
2946. That wasn't 30 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
that was about
6 years ago. My bad.
Yeah. I meant to ask you, Fastcart, are you going to spend a lot of time in Banu space?
That's not my plan at the moment. My plan at the moment is probably Terra, maybe Earth, but Sol, but definitely Terra.
Okay, because I was just thinking,
it depends. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking because, having that merchantman, you might be able to. I don't know. You get some friendly relations with the Banu. It might be an advantage to have it.
The thing is, though, if he brings his Banu there and he can't speak Banu, they're gonna be like, okay, so why are you taking our ship? And they may want to confiscate
I'm
his
just a
ship.
hanger on, a wannabe.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
So yeah, this is Ergo. I guess it's the Ergo, and I clicked it for some reason. Oh, the space whale, right? So one of the main attractions, the planet's moon, is nicknamed Space Whale for its supposed resemblance to a whale, a large aquatic animal native to Earth, those three. So yeah, they don't have a picture of it, but yeah. I was hoping for a picture of it.
It looks better than a storm wall. That's
you say?
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, speaking of which, I just remembered that the Fleetview also has a Stonewall in it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I was kind of wondering if that was the case.
Stuff. Yeah, it has a whole bunch of Easter eggs.
I was going to say, that Titan suit. Where'd that come from?
Oh, the Titan suit has been in talking about since, I want to say 2014. And it's been 8 years since I've
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do like almost any ships. Buddy of mine was like, holy smokes, you can, what is it? Said you can add the retribution in the Fleetviewer.
Oh yeah. Hey, let me do that right now.
Add a kingship. Vandal kingship.
No, you can. There's no
Yeah, you can.
Vandal ship yet. But they'll add it after fighting for the Shrews out.
Okay.
Oh my god! I added the retribution, and it's like put on top of everything else.
That's the thing with this. If you have a big ship like the Javelin, all your other ships get dwarfed. Like you gotta zoom way in.
So yeah, that is the retribution. I'm gonna move it back. So that's the button you can move it back. And then, you can see all the other ships on top of the retribution.
That's a flying city.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
I noticed. Is that Griff's 400i in too?
I might be. I think it's another Griff. I'm not
somebody
sure.
else. Okay.
Yeah, I think so because it
like,
just doesn't seem to be his color.
Griff 400i.
You'd have to pop in here just to confirm.
I would imagine it'd be his 890. They should put that.
So up next we had the roadmap update. Roadmap roundup. So Kalrati, you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. So they didn't have a lot, just basically one thing to show, and that was the updating 3.18 to feature the Grey Cat PTV racetrack. So that was nice that they actually confirmed it. So at least it didn't confirm it; it's still tentative, but hey. It was nice that they added it to the release view for 3.18, and we saw the take of it on a previous ISC. So definitely looking forward to seeing how the races go on there and how we can approach it and do our own races in the game there. So
yeah, not much on the roadmap roundup, but hey, they're moving closer.
Yep, closer. I think on Spectrum, Xylo said that they're having some critical meetings on 3.18. So I guess that's part of the reason why this week also was a bit kind of dead on the roadmap roundup update. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some things in the next 2 weeks. So
But
Do
didn't you
we?
know that they're
Good
lying and that's not going to happen?
Oh God.
Just a scam.
You
Oh
know they're
my
lying,
goodness.
right? It's not going to
Yeah.
happen until like January. It's just the way it's CIG. Come on, no, I'm
Dark
playing.
Knight, stop finding alternative facts, okay?
Oh man.
Dark Knight with the fun.
And
No, I just sat on
Kalrati,
Spectrum for 10 minutes.
Kalrati, I owe you an apology. I sprung the Galactapedia on you because we talked
I
about
knew it. Okay.
that was my bad. Yeah, that was
No
not
worries,
Kalrati messing up. That was on me. So please cover the patch note that just came out yesterday.
All right. So, the 3.17.a live patch notes. We know that this PTU or this build or these series of builds have been in the PTU for some time, and they finally released it. They did say in an incoming hotfix post that they would have had to reset the database while keeping LTP enabled. So, just the kind of, I guess, reset some redundancies and some errors that they had by writing data too quickly, and that kind of caused the super Pcache database to get corrupted a little faster than usual. So that's why they had to do the database reset. But once you had everything that persisted in the on LTP, once this patch was released, you should get them back. I know that some persons they didn't get some of the components that they had before the patch was deployed, but I think those same persons would have had some AUEC reimbursed, so maybe it didn't save and the purchases didn't save. But anyway, so this patch was released, and they have some known issues, of course, as per usual. And some of the updates that they released was, for example, for the combat assistance service beacons, they kind of lowered the frequency of the low threat ones. Right, and they upped and updated the frequency of the other tiers of those service beacons. So that was nice to see. I haven't actually seen the assistance beacons in game yet, so maybe it's a location thing, or maybe I have to do some missions to unlock them. So I mean, we can always hear from the rest of the crew to see if they've got a chance to provide feedback on that. And they also maxed the button on the shop kiosk, which was nice because I think the max was 5. And for some of the things, especially for like drinks and ammo and those things, that was a bit of excessive clicking. And they also made the friends list now sorted alphabetically. However, an IC was provided in the issue council, so you can check it out and hit your upvote. While the friends list is sorted alphabetically in the PU, on the main menu, from what I recall, it's not. Right, so it is that kind of disconnection there. But other than that, they've also reduced the HP of multiple parts on the blade, the Asperia blade, because I heard that the blade was a little bit, capable in some fights. So I guess that's why they did that. I haven't tested out the blade in a long time, but hey, if that helps us get closer to proper balancing across the ships, and so far so good. And of course, they've made a series of some really nice bug fixes. I'm not going to go over them. Of course, you can check out the screen there. But of course, you could hear from the crew if anything stood out for them. And yeah.
Anything stood out to anybody?
I'm just happy to have my money back.
Your money back for what?
Because she took his money.
Because it was gone. It was zero. I logged in. I had $0.
And he was in need.
Yeah.
Oh, so you lost your 2 million or 1 million or whatever you had?
Yeah, I was over 2 million. I was like, dang, man. I was like,
Yeah,
oh well.
I can see them giving it back, but I don't know. No, this is 17.2A, so maybe they won't. I don't know.
No, it's back.
Oh, it is back. Okay.
Yeah, it's back, and I have all my stuff that I purchased as well. So, from ships to components to ships, that was the first thing I checked. So, it's all good now.
And people, if you do update, make sure you delete your user photo. The installation can be found there. and so make sure you take care of that when you're patching.
And your
Otherwise,
shader.
And your
Yeah.
shaders,
yeah.
yep.
Hey, your shaders.
So has anyone else had a chance to participate yet in 17.2a?
I'm just loading it up now.
Loading it up
Yep.
now. All right.
I do have a question.
I'm in area 18 as we speak. I just did some clothes shopping.
I do have a question for everybody though, and you could always chime in the chats and everything too. So, with the even though we know that this patch is guaranteed to have a wipe, I have heard from from like the vines and everything that some persons aren't really feeling up to playing this kind of build until 3.18. Do you feel like a bit tired and you want to take a break, or do you still have that kind of that urge to continue testing in this particular build, even though it's probably going to even though we know that's going to wipe and everything like that?
Can I answer? So for me personally, I'm trying to save up all my energy for the big Evocati 318, whenever that is, because I feel like from what that letter from the chairman said, I think it's going to be with us for a while. And so, everybody has their ceiling of what they can take as far as bugs. And so I'd rather limit my exposure in live, so that I can save up all that patience for, the things that are going to really super matter, as far as testing.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
I'd
Yeah,
have to
actually,
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't logged in a while. Just,
Yeah, I think I logged in on
I-
17.2. Yeah, 17.2 once.
Yeah, I've logged in a couple times, but it's been like a couple weeks, if not a little longer, since I last.
Oh, here's a question. Are you still getting like 60 frames or above 50 frames per second in 17.2a?
Yeah, I'm at 80 frames 75 frames a second right now in area 18, so I'm happy.
I just started playing it again. I didn't play 3.17.1, and I just started playing 3.17.2. And like I was last night. I got I got 3 missions for the Starfarer like microtech, like find people, and then also grab a box. I'm like, okay, I can. I think I grabbed the box mission like as I was getting closer. I saw that it was available. So, the idea was to find 8 people, the crew, and then find like the captain. Those are 2 separate missions. And then I grabbed the box mission, and I could not, because I think it's because of like the fact that you can now loot people and take stuff off of people. It just wouldn't work. You couldn't search anybody to like make the missions work. So 2 out of the 3 missions wouldn't work. And the only one I could do was the box mission. And the reason I went there originally was to do the other missions, because I could do 2 search missions and get like 20,000 or 30,000, because it's like 10 or 15 per for the other missions. And then I ended up doing just the 1 box mission for like $8 grand. So it was kind of like a letdown. But the issue I have right now is that this game is really, really a lot better if you get more people, and it's really it kind of lets you down a little bit if you're just doing things by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
No, I have actually done all of those missions successfully. Now, I have run into some bugs where I had to get creative on them a couple times, but I've been able to complete them. And it was more of a matter of me figuring out how to, and it's not, like the pads, weren't on the actual person. They were on like a table sitting next to them or something. This is weird stuff, but yeah, Jules and I were able to go in and do those reclaimer derelict missions. But again, yeah, I whenever a patch comes out, if it's nothing really big, I come in and I test my normal stuff. Like right now, I put a paint on my 400i and I come down and look at it and I say, nope, they still haven't fixed it. It's still white on that one little piece. I don't know why they haven't fixed that yet.
One little piece, man.
Huh? That one little piece on the beak where the little the motorcycle elevator is, the paints don't apply to it for some reason. Don't know why, but I always check. And I check to see if the gun racks on the 400i work. And they don't. I don't know why. They were working. Now they don't work. But I just test a few things. I'll fly from one point to the other. Do a couple of things. I may drop something. See if I blow up. And then
Yeah,
I'll
fly
probably
the
log out.
fly to 315 around and see if the window's still broken. Yep.
Yep. Just quality of life stuff. Just not, I may get myself set up ready to do like a bunker mission. If I want to just jump in and do that one day, I'll put some armor and some weapons and whatnot on the ship so that I can, if I want to go do a bunker mission, I can. But right now I'm not really playing as much.
Yeah, because they just did the jump challenge and everything like that. That's over now, right?
Do they have another week of that?
Another one.
Oh no. Yeah, there's one more week. There's one more week.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting with the new patch. So let me know how that
Football's
goes.
coming back. It's football. Football's back. So yeah.
Kalrati, I gotta message you, man. Cause did you bring enough food for everybody?
I think, but I kind of ate it all, and I prepared this delicious smoothie using the Soul Citizens last year, which is available in the Soul Citizens store.
I do have to thank you for because before we started, we were noticing our shirt. So I want to say thank you for Kalrati for not wearing the same shirt as I was wearing, because that would have been awkward. You know better than to take a drink when I'm talking. You know better than take a drink when I'm talking.
Woo! You don't see like a whole spill is right here, man. Okay, we good.
Alright, so up next we have Inside Star Citizen. This one is kind of, I don't want to say a long one because they used to be an hour long, but this is a 14-minute one, so it should be interesting to watch. So this one is called Persistence Existent. So let's take a look.
Hey all, Space Dad here, coming to you from a secret facility that we'll be talking more about next quarter. Now, Alpha 3.18 has a whole lot of features that players have been anxious for updates on, and while we'll get to all of them like we always do before this quarter is out, we wanted to take this week's show and slow things down a bit for an uninterrupted, unabridged chat about persistent entity streaming. What it is, how it's been going, where it's at now, and what's coming up next. And we'll get back to our normal features next week, but for now, please join me in welcoming Benoit Beauséjour, CTO of our partners at Turbulent, for what we're calling our very first PES report. So, Benoit, welcome back to ISC. To start things off, give us a nickel version of what persistent entity streaming is.
Persistent entity streaming is a system that allows us to persist the entire game world and restore it from disk so that it's never lost and changes from players are meaningful.
And what's that look like to the player? How will players know if PES is working or not?
They're going to know because every time they come back to the same server, the state will be the same. So if you leave a ship, a can, or any kind of items in the world, it'll stay there. You blow up a door, it'll be blown on that server forever.
But part of this is something that cleans up the junk afterwards, right?
Yeah, some items will be covered under lifecycle management, which they'll get recycled, right? Because obviously we need some kind of janitorial system behind the scenes. But there also are discussions about gameplay to do that, to help players, to get players to help us clean up the game world. But yes, that's a new avenue that persistent entity streaming opens up.
All right, so we brought everyone up to speed on what PES is. Let's get to the updates. Now, last time we heard anything was from Chris's letter from the chairman back in May, where we'd just dropped something on the ground, shut the servers down, brought the servers back up, and it was still there. What's happened in the last 3 months?
So the team, which is a fairly large team at this point, has been working really hard to get our first stage delivery to what we call game dev, which is our main branch. What that means is we've moved from a prototypical work branch into what everybody in the company is using to develop the game. And so that's the big achievement, is now the technology is in the game dev branch. So everybody is using it in day-to-day, day in, day out testing. So all the bugs appear, they're right in our faces. We fix them right away. It's been a bit of a crazy time, but that's the big achievement in the last three months, is that we've stabilized the technology enough so that the entire company can now be working on it.
Define crazy.
Define crazy, everything being on fire. This technology touches on every subsystem in the game. So transit was busted. Stuff was persisting in the wrong locations. You couldn't log into the game because obviously with PES comes a new login flow to get players into the game, because we need to bring your items into a new database. So that entire system was also rocky to get in, because there's a lot of cases to deal with, like timeouts if you have too many items. What happens if you have too many items? And dealing with all the different stages of the login, from authentication to you being actually spawning in the game. And so it's been a lot of debugging, encountering issues on different types of machines, because when we start, all the developers have some pretty good machines on those feature branches, but when we move to game dev, now we're exposed to all kinds of different hardware, and timing issues occur. Those are the weird ones to find. They're really difficult to trace, in fact. But so that's been the craziness, is getting exposed to way more machine types or users as well, right? Like the game requires a lot of resources to run when we develop locally, and so sometimes one service doesn't start on somebody's machine, and that causes all these crashes to start being reported, and now we have to investigate them. And so that's been a bit of it's the real-time effect that makes it crazy. It's like, we're not making technology in a bubble anymore where everybody's using it. And so that makes it really, really difficult to follow. But it's been fun to finally get the technology in the hands of people that can really adjust it for the game and for the players. And so that's been fantastic.
So that's been the last couple months, but where are we at right now?
So right now on the technology side, we're in bug fixing mode, right? And identifying the elements that are left that we are still, rough around the edges. So I don't want to call it polish. It's really bug fixing, bug testing, stabilization. Stabilization is the right word. That's what we're doing right now. So it's feature parity and making sure everything works the way it should. On the other side, there's a new team that's kicking in work, which is deployment teams, right? So this is taking the technology that we have working on a game dev build and locally, and basically breaking it up into a lot of small services that run in the cloud. So the operationalization of the technology, that's what we're really focusing on now. It's like a dependent project, right? So this allows us to basically bring the game to you guys. That's where we can do PTU. So PTU is a lot larger than a developer running the game on his machine. Even though there's tons of services when we go to the cloud, we've got operators that deploy that on multiple machines and scale this out. This is made to scale. So now it's about testing that that's true. So we've got the technology is working. Now we're trying to scale it out to the cloud, see, how many users we're taking in there, the weight of the entities, how many entities we end up having in the databases, can they reload fast enough, testing all of the facets of the assumptions that we had, but really getting this technology ready to be deployed for players to play on.
Has the recent change in server player counts had any effect on PES testing or its development?
Well, at first we thought it was going to have an effect, but the reality is the same amount of entities get stored, whether 100 players are simulated or 50. So no, for the moment there is no side effect to having more player caps, because obviously there's more entities being changed, but ultimately for the same amount of players online, whether they're divided on 50, 100 players per server doesn't change anything for PES.
Great, awesome. But what's next? Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? It's a straight line to deployment, right? That's the only thing that matters right now is to make sure that the technology can run in the cloud properly, that it scales out, that if we have more players coming in, either in a short period of time or in a long period of time, that we can, add more provisioning, add more machines to run it, making sure it operates well at scale. So when, all of you guys are online, to make sure that everything's functioning properly, that we recover from errors. This tech comes with a lot more observability than the previous systems that we had. So we have tons of graphs and like data that's coming in from the system operating. And the teams need to get used to this to be able to identify problems, to be able to help support. We have a bunch of new tools that we're also working in the last stretch here to allow game support to help players that have issues. Character repair is something that we're starting to work on. Mind the word here is not character reset, but character repair, which is something that we can now do that we could not do before. So that will allow us to not, just destroy people's inventories and items, but really go and fix one issue on so that they can keep playing. So we're trying to get that in before we launch it, because we think that would be very beneficial for if there are corruption events again. We're trying to. The technology is made to not have those, but better safe than sorry. But so that's really the work now. Is login flow and PES is just stabilization and deployment so that we can launch it. So it's beeline for 3.18 is all. It's like we're banging on it until it gets in properly.
Now, I know we don't like to do dates, but we got a whole lot of player testers waiting to help bang on the pipes. You wanna forecast anything?
Oh, no, I'm not even going to try to gamble on that one. We have it running in the cloud. It's running, right? But, before we're comfortable not sending the ETF team into a, just fire drill, that's going to be, there's a big difference between testers, internal testers, developers using the system, and when we get real users on it, it's completely different, right? And so it's hard to say for me. I don't want to forecast it.
That's fair. Now, before we let you go, I want to reiterate that PES isn't a traditional feature like players are used to. When it works, Star Citizen isn't going to look any different. It'll just be another step closer to functioning like we've always intended to. It's a major step forward in stability when all is said and done.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're not going to have wipes anymore, because there's always data changes that will require us to do that. But we're really hoping that the technology will allow us to have consistent data, which we don't always have right now. Every player's had horror stories of how they're losing their movie glass or their eyes. Which is incidentally one thing I discovered in this project is that if you don't have eyes, you don't see markers in your visor. That's an interesting one. So trying to make sure that the data's, the technology will make sure that the data is safe and sound. So obviously less corruption. So that's the first thing we expect. Second one, stuff will persist. And to be honest, at this time, we don't totally know what that's going to mean when we put real players in it. Right. So we do have life cycle systems and cleanups and all that stuff. Yes, we've planned for that, but we don't yet know what you guys will do with it. And that will greatly affect how the technology functions, right, in the end. So that's going to be interesting to see. So as a player, stuff you put on one server will stay there, right? It's there until that server gets, wiped manually. But by default, every server will just persist, Like you said, it's a stepping stone technology. Really what this means is behind the scenes, the simulation and the replication of the game. So simulation is the stuff that runs the physics and the rendering and the AI, right, is one thing. And the replication, which is sending updates and the state of all these entities as they're being simulated. This used to be like this, right? And now with PES and the game server, this is split into two. And that's the big achievement that PES allows us to do. Yes, we get persistent state. That's awesome. That's great. But the real thing is that we separate simulation from replication, and that allows us to do server meshing after that. And that's the reason why we're doing this.
All right. Last question then. How do you feel?
Good. I feel good. Tired, but we're in the home stretch, so I'm happy I'm happy about where we are. I'm happy that the company now can use the technology and see what it's like to persist everything. I mean, our dev servers are now littered with stuff flying around, which is cool. But I know I feel good. I feel encouraged. Also stressed out because we need to scale it, right? So it's that 10% that takes 90% of the time, right? So that's the effect I'm a bit stressed out for, but it's okay. I feel good about it.
All right, Benoit, thank you for your time, man.
Thank you, man.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, hopefully, it's that persistent entity streaming may not be the most visual of features, but it is the next big step in realizing a universe where players can truly leave their mark. The last major milestone that'll make server meshing possible, and that it's still heading your way in the upcoming Alpha 3.18. Now, thank you for taking this ISC detour with us this week, but don't worry, we've still got 4 more episodes left this quarter where we'll be covering things like hull stripping, cargo refactor, the new 600i and MSR crash sites, and more, as well as meeting the performance capture team and exploring their new facility next door. And then maybe we'll stop by. His people are talking to my people. We'll see what we can make happen. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
And we're back. That was a pretty good episode. So let's go on. Well, first I gotta say, that's a lot of whales. And second, I gotta ask,
Graveyard.
anyone got any software that can unpixelate the video? I'm asking for a friend.
I can read lips, and I could see that was Chris Roberts, even through the pixelation.
Okay. Cool.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. How about Kusanagi? What are your thoughts?
I saw Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is going to show up and talk to us all about Star Citizen.
Was
and
it
how
Squad
he's gonna-
42.
and Squadron 42. And it's going to happen is his ship is going to get destroyed and he's going to pop out as Superman, and that's what's going to happen. It's not a big spoiler. It's just might happen.
Alright, so what are your thoughts?
The one thing that it kind of made me think about this, and I was kind of like, this is kind of like a lot of stuff to talk about. But then it was funny because I got into 317.2 again tonight just to kind of check it out, and I get out of Microtech and got out of the hab, and this floor is littered with stuff. I don't know if there were 5 guys or people who just decided to take all the stuff out of their inventory, but the floor was just covered with boxes and fruit. And there was a lot of fruit for some reason, like all those pineapples you pick up on planets or something like that. I'm like, wow, this stuff's everywhere. So I really think that they're going to have to do, so people who are poor, in the verse are going to have to be doing some janitorial services to kind of clean up. And then it also makes me wonder about Jumptown. If you hit it with an A2, or say you've got any ship out there, and it gets blown up, that ship should not despawn. That wreck should stay there. So I kind of see in the future where you'll have to expand the landing areas for ships going into Jumptown. You might really need to get a ground vehicle to drive the distance to be able to pick up the drugs to drive it back to a ship that can actually take off. And then I could imagine armored vehicles kind of maneuvering in between all these wrecked ships and stuff like that. It'd be pretty interesting to see. And also, then now you have something for a vulture to do. So, or maybe even a one person with a little tiny Drake vehicle whose hand scraping the metal off these ships. So trying to keeping their EM signature low, just trying to make some money on the side. So it'll be very interesting to see what this stuff turns into.
Cool. Dark Knight. Oh, by the way, does anyone want to join us? Please join us and click on the Discord link below. So we welcome anyone to talk about this week Inside Star Citizen. So yeah, Dark Knight 75. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I recently stopped watching a lot of content creators because a lot of the feedback and people were saying, well, they're not talking about 318 and they're not doing anything, and this is getting frustrating, and I wish they would say something. And here we have a whole ISC talking about what are the facets of 318 that's going to happen. And I thought this was just incredibly informative as far as what we learned more about PES and what it's going to bring to the experience in Star Citizen. It's like they said, it's not something that's visual. Well, I guess kind of in a way, it's visual because you're going to see a lot more stuff. But it's it's that next step towards what's going to be happening with server meshing when that comes about. And so I think a lot of people are trying to expect one thing and they just want to hear everything they can possibly hear, and then they'll get frustrated that they know too much and they didn't break it down and explain it in a simpler way for them. So it's like it goes both ways. So I literally just saw somebody talking about there's no information on 318. Literally just saw it after ISC was done. No information. I'm
after?
like, right. After ISC was done, literally went on and said they're not telling us anything about 318. I'm like, seriously? Did you watch ISC today? So that kind of
guess not.
frustrates me. So I stopped watching a lot of content creators just for now. Just, it gets frustrating. Admiral Kusanagi, you were so right. I swear I'm thinking, first thing I thought was, it's going to be a mess. And not a mess as in it's going to be buggy and this and that. It's just going to be messy. It's going to be trash everywhere because players are going to dump every single bit of their inventory as soon as they
How
leave
many
the hab and
hospital gowns?
Microtech. Hospital gowns,
Everywhere.
subscriber gear they don't want, food, all that stuff. It's just going to be the place is going to be trash, So, like you said, somebody's going to have to clean it up. But I think one of the things that really got me was talking about all of the testing that they're doing on this right now and how hard they've been working and how they're explaining that they can do all the internal testing and spread it out throughout the entire organization and test it on so many various amounts of computers and this and that. And a lot of people say they don't test, but they're testing it all on these various systems, but they don't know how it's going to work until it gets into our hands. And, that's just how it works when it comes to development. They can test all they want in-house. Even their QA testers can test all day, but it's not going to really show itself until it gets into our hands once they, get it into a wider view. And so I'm really cool that he, really went deep into how they're testing it, what levels they're at now, how he feels about it, and things like that. But one thing stuck out, and then I'll be done. He mentioned there's going to be, that the players are going to have a new experience in logging in. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with they were, talking about your stuff is still there. You leave a cup on a planet and it's still going to be there when you come back. And they were saying on the server. I know somebody in a thread went up in Spectrum about how is this going to work if we've got all these different servers? But he mentioned different way of logging in. So I wonder if they're going to change the login procedure where you log in onto a specific server or something like that. I don't know. It seems like they're going to do something different in order to actually make you see the persistence happen. Otherwise, if you log into the Aussie server, it's not going to be there. Or if you log into server 18 on the US server and you were on 14 before, is it going to be there? So I wonder if they're going to do something with the login situation. We'll see. But overall, very cool ISC. I enjoyed it. So that's my 2 cents. I'm done.
Cool. And with all the tasks that's going to be generated, we just put them on Griffin's 890. He won't mind. Face to face, what are your thoughts about this week's ISC?
This is pretty good. I'm glad to see, something talking about something that's actually pretty valuable to the verse. To me, I kind of look at it from a point of view that, this could spawn missions and gameplay. And not just, like you said, janitorial work, but that janitorial work can, lead you into, maybe some other, storyline missions for other factions or stuff like that. You never know where it can go, but that's what I kind of see about it.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Cool. Go, Matt. What are your thoughts?
All right. Just like like DK was saying, I do think they're going to have to do some sort of server binding in order for you to consistently get back to wherever you may have left your stuff. So I'm curious as to what that's going to look like. One big thing that he touched on is like, hey, look, the number of people on the server don't necessarily impact how this performs because the entities are the entities, right? So if it's 50, 100, 200, 300 people, the number of entities that are in the verse are still going to remain the same. The amount they change can go up or down. But I think the limit is the number of entities, not their volatility. So that's really telling. And I think that could spell further expansion in the player counts on the servers. One thing I want to touch on, DK, what DK says. Look, I tune out those clowns that want to be like, they're like the Tucker Carlsons of Star Citizen, where they ask questions in order to lead you to a incorrect conclusion. Why is it taking so long? Do they just not have the right people doing this? Are they incompetent? Do they not know how to develop a game? Up next, shut your ass up. You have no, no, but that's their stick, right? That's what people come to look to them for, and that's why they're gonna keep doing it. So I don't pay attention to them. This is going to be huge. It is going to be messy. The most important piece of this was the piece that was kind of glossed over, and that's going to be garbage collection and prioritization. Right? They said they're going to make it so that certain things go away faster than others. Certain things will go away and others should not, or at least for a very, very, very long time. So it's going to take a while for them to dial that in and make it somewhat playable. Because as soon as people get in, the first thing they're going to do is just throw something on the ground, log out, log back in, and see if it's still there.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's going to do, right? I want to see if I drop my P4A9 or P4AR on the ground, log out, come back in 20 minutes later, will it still be sitting where I dropped it? Yeah, okay. If I do that and come back a week later, it should not be. Or if I come back a day later, it should not be. But if I blow up my MSR
on what it is, right?
If I blow up my MSR and it crash, if I crash a ship, it should stay there. Now, what'll be cool is if crash ships can turn into kind of like dynamic derelicts, right? Whereas, once they're crashed and permanently disabled, they become one with the landscape and can be either salvaged or, you may be able to go through and find that one component that isn't damaged beyond repair, pull that component out, take it someplace, get it repaired, or maybe it'll have value, right? You could find
maybe you could pick up the whole wreck, put it in the Crucible or some other repair ship and get it repaired.
See, in my opinion, and this is just me speculating and theory crafting, I think there should be a line between repair and salvage. Salvage should only be possible on unrepairable ships.
Okay.
Right? If it is permanently disabled, then it should be salvageable.
Yeah, but
If
we don't
it-
know how
That's
that's
a
going
really
to be.
good
I
idea.
mean, that's an idea. Maybe they will go that way, but we don't know how it's going to work right now.
Right. That's just what I think should happen. So who knows how they're going to implement it? I think there should be a clear delineation between repairable and salvageable.
All right.
I
Cool.
agree with that.
Jade, what are your thoughts?
I'd say that the Canterbury is legitimate salvage. Or not the Canterbury, I forget the name of it from The Expanse. What ended up becoming the Rosinati. But yeah, I disagree with GoMap on that point. I think, and I hope that the way that they're going to go with it, it's going to be more or less, if there's something that's abandoned, it's salvageable, just like in the real world. If you've come across something abandoned, yes, you can salvage it if it's on your property or something like that. But yeah, my thoughts on this segment is, a lot of people are talking about what's going to happen with everybody leaving stuff somewhere, but it's CIG's thing of they make something very profitable if they want you to do it. So if they want people to be janitors and pick up all this stuff, they'll make it extremely profitable to basically be picking up people's garbage. And I've been preparing for this, picking up all those medical gown boxes ever since they introduced them to the game, because I just had a feeling that that's what would possibly happen during 318. So I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing what kind of things people leave behind, what they don't value, right? Nobody values medical gowns, but maybe that P4 that you can find in every bunker ends up being like just left everywhere, and you can just stock up. You won't ever have to buy a gun. You can just stock up on those. I mean, you don't have to now. You can just go loot. But yeah, I just think it'll be interesting to see, people that have been in this game for a while might remember that we had HABs where everything in the HAB just about you could pick up and, walk around with. And this was before we had the kind of inventory system we have now. And it'll be interesting to see if they bring that back, if they bring back the champagne glasses on the 890 jump. Some of these items that we see that are in our ships, like the 600i with the full bar, like it would be nice to see if you could be able to like take those bottles off, right? Or just be able to open up the freezer and store things,
Can you?
I have a question for Jade. I want to know if she can say champagne, wishes, and caviar dreams.
Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
See, and she did it like in an English accent too.
It sounded kind of like posh, so I figured,
Oh man, have you never seen Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
No,
No, what's that?
absolutely not.
Oh my God, did she never see that?
Alrighty, have you seen this?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess it's a generational thing.
It was this
But-
guy
We're showing
called
our age.
Robin Leach. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, if you're flying in your MSR, you get into a nasty bump, and then all your set pieces in that one room just flies everywhere? How that's going to be?
You gotta go
That's going to be a
grab 'em
pain.
And that one that you need to access the little Jeffries tube,
You're
that's
right.
the one you can't find.
Yeah, because magnets aren't a thing 1,000 years in the future.
It fell down the
Yeah.
hole and it's in
Well,
the
I
Jeffries
mean,
tube somewhere.
I mean, some forces are stronger than magnets, so I mean, yeah.
I deeply disagree with you on that one, but that's not a conversation I want to have right now.
We can get into the physics of that one, but I don't think that's where we were going. So,
Rise at the dark, people.
but yeah, that's about all I have to say. I look forward to it. Talking about the people, the negativists, the FUD spreaders, I get it if that's your thing to grow your channel. But what gets me, I mean, they don't get me as upset as people who then take what they say and think that they're doing it in good faith. To think that bad faith question that like Gomab was referring to when he was, comparing them to Tucker Carlson, that was actually a legitimate question and not part of their brand or their, what they do to get views on their channel. To me, that the more frustrating thing is that there are people who will just parrot that'll just repeat it and act as though, you know, like that there's any legitimacy um to what they're saying, when in reality they're speculating. But he knows none of us work for CIG. But the fact that we don't know doesn't mean that we should go automatically to the negative. Just wait. Like, I never, you know, got upset that I wasn't hearing anything on PES, because I figured by the time they're ready to show us something, they will, because that's what they always do, right? So for people that are new, this is how it works, right? When you hear things get really loud and negative, just don't freak out. Just hang in for like another month, and you'll see something on ISC or Star Citizen Live. That's all.
Or a new patch. Yeah.
Or a new patch. Yep. Or something in the patch notes. Yeah.
Or, I mean, I would tell you honestly, I tell a lot of my gamer friends to hold off on coming to Star Citizen unless I know they have the temperament to go on this bumpy ride that is game development real time. You know what I'm saying? Real time game development. Like, not everybody is built for this. Not everybody has the constitution for it. And so it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, this is going to be awesome. I'll let you know when you should jump in.
All right. So up next we have Cotton Face.
Okay, well, I just wanted to basically start off with this. I used to think the coolest name I had ever heard was David Benoit, the pianist, but he's up that for me, so he now has the coolest name. And this one is to DK. You know, okay, they are now comparing Ashes of Creation to Star Citizen. Now they are going through the development there, and some of them are saying that Ashes of Creation is winning now, and one has nothing to do with the other. So how they came how they came up with that, but our one of our favorite people, Salty Mike, was going through this thing about Ashes of Creation. So I didn't get it. That's the second video of his that I've ever watched. So yeah. The other thing is, let's see. We all know that this is a big step towards server meshing, which is very interesting. I enjoyed hearing that. As far as that, the janitorial gameplay made me think maybe they'll have some, Roombas in the game or something. Maybe we'll build our own J5s, and get them going. But I have a question. Persistence. I've never known a game that had persistence like this. Anybody else know of a game that has?
Yeah,
Second
Life does.
Yeah.
I think that's probably
Not
the
like
only
this.
one.
No, I mean, Second Life, yes, but as far as something else other than Second Life, no, not like this.
Yeah, I had thought first of Minecraft possibly, but it's not when you drop something. It despawns after a certain amount of period of time.
Yeah. Because
I've very few.
Yeah, I've never.
Speed Faggot said Elite Dangerous.
Oh, ED has it. Oh, okay.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? No Man's Sky may.
Yeah, that's true. No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky does.
Okay.
You can put a cup down someplace. I mean, you have to build a base in order for that to happen. But I think, you could put some things down and it just stays.
Oh.
It never goes away.
Kai said ED doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think ED does.
He does. That ED doesn't have it. Okay. So this is a whole new, I guess whole new territory in a sense.
Oh, come on. I wanted you to say a whole new world so I could start singing, but you didn't do it.
Nah.
I can show you the
No,
world.
don't.
Here we go. No. Okay. Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's it for your pops.
Yeah, basically. And the only other thing is that they were saying that internal testing is nowhere near the same as putting it in our hands. And,
Yeah.
that was
I
another
cannot
thing.
imagine. I mean, if even Cardi think they got it bad, I cannot imagine the internal testers of CIG. Woo! Wouldn't
You're on
want that
fire right
job.
now.
I mean, but it's literally their job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They
Mhm.
get
That's true.
paid to do that. That's the difference.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so-
like you talk about temperament. If you don't have the right temperament of it, that's like mind-numbingly boring for some people. So yeah,
There are people that get paid to shovel excrement. If you pay them, they will do it. And you know, what I'm saying, if it's their job, and their job is to play a buggy video game, I have very little sympathy.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just glad that they do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
So
Right.
before we get to Kalrati, some of my thoughts is like, yeah, that was a whole lot of whales. That eye thing in the middle of the video, the eye thing, that was really creepy. And that was worse than Sandman. If you have seen Sandman, that was worse than that. And I love it when, well, love is not the right word, but the last 10% take 90% of the time. That's something that people have to get used to. I don't think that as brought up as much as it should be, or highlighted as much as it should be. That the last 10% of putting effort into making a video game or a feature take 90% of the time. Take as long or longer than they're gonna at the first 10%. So yeah. That's why they're close, but you know they're not quite there yet. Some of the other thing is at the end of the video, Jared mentioned they're gonna be a new 600i ISC coming up, and I'm looking forward to meeting the performance capture team. I'm looking forward to that episode. Kalrati, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I firstly have to quickly echo some sentiments on creativity that uh, Admiral and everyone have suggested. For example, Admiral had stated how over time, if there are a lot of wrecks and there are a lot of destroyed ships, if they don't meet that threshold of the whole cleanup cycle, they could remain there. So you would actually have to use your vehicle or so to, like the mule and everything, to kind of navigate your way to Jumptown, for example, get the drugs there and go back to your ship, which would have to be further away. And then, of course, some other sentiments as well. And when watching this ISC, there was one thing that I'm still curious, and that has to do with player location persistence. And even though on the surface it may sound like a very obvious answer, I mean, it's a modern MMO. Of course, there will be player location persistence. You have to ask yourself, how would that, or if that is going to affect the value of ships with beds, because even though they haven't been since we first got the beds for bed logging, I can't remember, it was 4 or so years ago. While it wasn't a written thing that over time it would stick where you need a bed to log out, that was one of the selling points. Right now, if they just blindly give us the ability to, let's say, exit the game without a bed, without needing a bed, let's say where we don't have a ship nearby and we're exploring the moon, or Moon and Pyro, or even a planet, now how would that affect the sales? And even though we can be ignorant and say that that wouldn't affect me or so, it may affect CIG, or that may be something that CIG may be thinking about or may have to be conscious about. At the same time, if they don't give us that, then we're kind of going back 10 years with regards to MMO and true persistence, right? Because they do talk about item persistence, and while players, their avatars are themselves items, they haven't explicitly stated that we can exit the game and come back within the same location, in the wilderness. So that's the main thing that I'm kind of excited and looking forward to hearing about. If they don't put it in, at least in the very beginning, that's totally fine. But it would be something that I'm very curious about them at least explicitly stating, or at least until we have the ability to test it out and confirm it ourselves. So yeah, I definitely agree with a lot of those points that others have stated. And the last thing I want to say is, I can definitely agree also in the middle between Jade and Gomab's statement with regards to there being some kind of threshold where you can repair and salvage. Because if a ship is broken in half, then I would consider that salvageable. But if it's disabled to
No,
a
duct tape,
point,
man.
but yeah, if it's disabled to a point, then I could see where it can be where it can be repairable once you have the proper materials and those things. So yeah, some really good points, and I'm definitely looking forward to PES. I can say for certainty that I was within 2 chat groups while this ISC first premiered, and those 2 chat groups usually are active still even when an ISC is running. I can tell you with 100% certainty that both chat groups were absolutely silent while this ISC was happening. So even though we didn't see a lot of oohs and ahs, everyone was trying their best to get as much information from this ISC on PES as much as possible.
Yeah, if you notice, I didn't talk much about the PES and its ISC. My thing is mostly about ships, so that's why
Right.
I brought it to 6-Minute Eye. I'm looking forward to that episode, and the performance capture stuff. I'm looking for that episode. The PES, yes, it's important. It's more a background thing that It's not that I don't have an interest in. It's just that I have more interest in other stuff. So I'm not gonna say they should have made this IIC. This IIC is the information that they brought forward is important. I wouldn't begrudge anyone who loves this information. You can't get enough of it. It's just not my thing. So yeah.
Just the thing on the 600i. It's not going to be on
It's
the
the-
600i ship. It's going to be on a
Right,
derelict
derelicts.
600i,
the
like
derelict.
yeah,
Mhm.
like they did with the
Aw.
reclaimer.
I thought it was going to be the gold standard thing. Well.
They did
No.
mention that in the question, no, not the question and answer. It was that one, the question and answer Friday show from last week.
Yeah,
And they
the week
mentioned
before
that
last,
they will give some information, before the end of the year, obviously. So I
Right,
think
that's what I thought that
that
was.
they'll talk about it. But yeah, that was the derelicts.
Okay, my mistake. All right.
Yeah.
So up next we have this week Machinima, and this one is from our good friend Zark Media. This is called an immersive Star Citizen short film pushing boundaries with the ORISON Accord. So this is 13 minutes. So let's get into it.
Oliver, the newswires are going crazy out here.
Uh-huh. What's the word?
Looks like the Ninetales have launched some sort of attack on ORISON.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're interested?
Am I interested? Who do you take me for?
I don't know. Some rich kid? Are you good down there in your cabin, by the way? Can I get you anything, sir?
Sorry, I was dispatching reporters. What was that?
Never mind.
Okay. We'll lay in a course for the studio so we can get the word out properly. And after that, we're heading back to Staten.
Sounds good. Whatever goes down will show the whole empire.
Here's something we never thought we would see. A terrorist attack on the scale of an invasion is right now taking place in Crusader Industries' floating megacity, ORISON. Over to our reporter on the scene, Area Alez.
A couple days ago.
And this way, Crusader managed to keep the shuttles operational. However, it's that the CDF had been called in by the advocacy and the first operator.
Beautiful.
Right. But it probably looks like a war zone down there. I hope so. Otherwise we wasted a trip.
P, that's dark.
And true.
Wow. You're something extra, you.
Aw, you too. I'll take us down.
Hey Pete, I think I'll head out actually. Talk to some people and see if there's any scoop to catch before we head out tomorrow.
Alright, hail me if you need me.
Sure, thanks.
We were stuck in our office on Kaplan, in one of those escape pods, just in case.
I was just about to head out to the park for a round of golf, but then I saw, I don't know.
It's so weird. During this whole attack, there hasn't been a word from any Crusader official.
We had to hold the pod open way too long for our boss, who went and got some food from the restaurant during a siege.
Probably just died, actually. I don't remember a thing.
All good?
Yeah, but we need to get a hold of a Crusader official for an interview.
Got it.
Would you mind looking into it?
Of course. I'm on it first thing in the morning.
Awesome. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm, yes?
Where do I go to talk to Crusader Industries?
It's right over there.
Ah, thank you, Sylvia.
You can't miss it.
Have a nice day. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you. Are you a representative of Crusader Industries?
I'm a member of the board, actually. Well, alternate member. Deputy alternate member.
I'm with the news, and the public is literally dying to hear an official word from you.
Naturally.
Well?
Oh, me? I'm not sure.
If you don't say anything soon, you will have the advocacy breathing down your neck, wanting compensation after you and your colleagues have barely made any efforts to defend your own planet. The responsibility for how you lost control of your city may very well be put on Crusader at this point. You can stop it from happening. I bet the board will be pleased with your loyalty to the company. If you can help calm the public down, and even rally them into helping the CDF, the advocacy would love you.
You know? Maybe.
Oliver, I have a Crusader person for you.
Nice. Was it hard work?
It was hard finding their headquarters. His name is Hemen Sinatra. I'll send his info over to you.
Great.
Pete out.
Moby, contact Marcus Hurst. Hey Marcus, it's Oliver. I've got an interview for you. Hemen Sinatra. Looks like he's a Crusader board member. Nice. Let him sweat. There's no point holding back on this guy. If they got answers, we want them. You'll find your camera crew in the Crusader showroom.
Sure thing, boss.
Oliver out.
Fall under your responsibility.
Hang on now. We've known about...
Such a shame. What is he doing?
Beats me, actually. I think it's just cannon fodder. The poor guy. If he's tired tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised.
What do you do about all the bodies?
Excuse me.
Mr. Sinatra, people are dying. Many times over.
Crusader, man. Pisses me the fuck off. The people living here. I mean, they don't know anything. They even keep shops and bars open, like it's just another normal day in their lives. Oh, we got invaded. Oh, that's too bad. And did you see the game? Oh yeah, I did. Where did you get that, my cow? Wow. I like Piton booze.
Hey.
What?
You remember that Citizen Truth video we did? Back in 2950?
Oh yeah.
Imagine if we could do something like that again, huh?
Oh,
Those were the times.
Thought you meant like we were gonna do it again.
No.
I'm gonna do it.
No,
I'm
we
gonna
can't.
do it.
We're gonna stay right here and make unbiased reports.
You're gonna stay here. I'm gonna go help out. Hey, what's with the dad face? I'll be back in time for dinner, I promise.
Ah, that's funny. Maybe you can entertain the Pleasure Guards instead. I'm sure they've missed you.
Whatever, man.
Hey, you need a hand with that?
I knew it.
Of course. I mean, you're right after all.
I'll save that recording.
Have you got a plan to keep us safe?
Yes. Now hold this. Ready?
Yeah.
People of Crusader, your city is under attack and your government relies on UEE assets to bring order. The very same government that is supposed to be a beacon of sovereignty leans back while half its people are suffering, and the other half looks the other way. It's time to make ORISON a city of its people, a city to be proud of. You can make this day go down in history as the day when ORISON showed that life and morals still matter. Don't let your government or modern medical advances make you lose your humanity, but use the miracle of regeneration for good, and help the CDF clear out the platforms and put ORISON on the map as a city defined by its people and their admirable way of life, rather than by some cowardly government and their inability to take action. The choices you make today will forever define your home and the rest of your life. It's your future. Choose wisely. Hold the elevator, please. Emma Sinatra.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Everyone has to step up, right?
Alright, people, listen up. No one expected you to be here, yet here you are, like true heroes. We're clearing the platforms and making way for an assault on the admin platform. Look out for each other, and we will bring back peace to ORISON. What we do to them today, they can't do to us tomorrow. See you back in the city. Let's go.
I can't leave him.
It's a new world now, he'll be fine.
The CDF are clearing the platforms? It's fantastic. Take out the camera drones. We're live on the rooftop in 15 minutes. The CDF have cleared the platforms, meaning Inspiration Park is once again safe.
Good job, everyone. The platforms are secure.
Big Pete, Mr. Sinatra is gone. His body is gone.
Really? Keep looking. He's gotta be around there somewhere.
Hemon Sinatra. We do have his imprint. But he does not seem to be regenerated. Was there anything else?
No. Have a nice day.
So, Hammond.
Yeah.
Where do you think he is?
I hope he's okay. I shouldn't have pushed him on doing that interview.
Hey, it's not your fault. Oh, by the way, when we were in the common ray, you told me you had a plan to keep us safe.
Yeah.
Did you?
I don't think you want to know. But it all came together in the end, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. We'll see about that. I'm gonna get some sleep now. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Oops, we have another minute or so. I don't know if there's nothing at the end. Okay. Okay, that was pretty good. Let's start in the middle and go backward. So, Jade, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, wow. Like my thoughts are, we all know him from the news reports, and this is the most ambitious, most it's the longest thing he's ever done. And it really shows that he's been studying some of the people that make Machinima, like Elite Expeditionary, I know they've collaborated in the past, and you can see it in this. Like, I'm just super impressed. I thought it was a great story. It's funny when they hijacked the Comrade. I almost thought the guy was going to start going into like a Xenothreat spiel, but
Yeah, I thought so too.
yeah, and he even sort of like called back to it with the whole people of Stanton. He's like, sort of it had that feel to it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think overall, like for the first attempt at an actual long form machinima, this was great. I mean, that's all I have to say. I could go on forever. So I'm gonna pass it to someone else.
No, he did one before. He did the Valentine's Day one, right? No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah,
Not
well,
the
I
like
mean,
that.
yeah,
Nothing like that.
that wasn't. Yeah, I was gonna say that was fun. We were in
Yeah.
it, but like this has like like a much more developed story. So yeah.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did one of the voices sound familiar to any of y'all?
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah, and he did a couple voices in it too. But
Oh.
yeah.
What do you mean by that? Are you in this, Jade?
Oh no, I'm not in this one.
Oh, you're not. Okay, that's what I was hinting at.
No. She and I sound alike though. I get
Okay.
that sometimes. Yeah, no, we kind of sound alike.
All right, cool. Face to face. What are your thoughts?
He did very good on this one. I haven't seen all of his work, his past work, but I know he's always done well. This one I definitely enjoyed the storyline. Very captivating. You know, kept me engaged in everything, especially with the Arnold scream from Herman. It was beautiful.
Get to
That's
the
my-
chopper. That's
There
it.
you go. Yep, that's it.
Dark Knight. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was really good. I really did. I thought the writing was really, I mean, watching the newscast and then watching this, they're definitely on two different levels. Like like Jade said, they've, been working with Elite Expeditionary in some things. I'm sure they've done other projects with other filmmakers out there, and that he's really taken a lot of that inspiration and put it into this. I thought there was so much that was going on that actually worked together. Like I didn't feel like it was too slow. I didn't feel like that it was overcomplicated with way too much dialogue that didn't make sense. That was just filler. The music really gave it a mood.
Right.
Which I thought was very important because in those times of silence, the music filled the mood. So it made sense in that way. The story, like Jade had mentioned, the story was really well put together, and it was a story you could follow from beginning to end, and it didn't feel like there was just like what were they talking about, or why is this in here? It all made sense, and it all led up to what we now have as a continuation, hopefully in the future, with the story of him and Sinatra. I mean, there's more that can be, told, and it seems like it's a long form type of thing that they could do. We all know Elite Expeditionary just did a 90-minute full length movie. So I think it would be on par that they could come up with more long form, maybe over up to a half hour type of shows in this dramatic type of feel. And I love the use of the video screens and all the different various areas on the 600, on the the large screens in the hospital, and it's just made use of that. And I just thought it was really cool. Sound, audio, everything was just really, really cool. I really enjoyed this. Yeah.
Oh, DK, you say they may go half hour. Who knows how long this the story arc will be by the time it's done? So,
Well,
yeah.
like it could be half-hour sequences. Like the next one could be a half hour, and then another one a half hour after that. It doesn't have, it's just each story part could, the long, like any other TV series that we have out there. It could be half-hour segments that lead up to a cliffhanger at the end of each half
Well,
hour or something like that. And that's just, yeah.
Well, okay, it could be like a bunch of 15-minute ones, and like
Or it could be.
each break could be like a commercial break, so it could be
Mhm.
considered like that.
There's so many different ways they could take it, and it's just a beginning. I could see, possibility of so much more growth, and as as this experience keeps moving forward, Zark's done an awesome job. I think this is really, really cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yep. Kusanagi, what are your thoughts?
Man, I gotta tell you, I just pulled out a Macho Man Randy Savage like impersonation. Man, let me touch you, something like that, because it was really good, and like some of the best use of the facial animations that I've seen in some of the stuff. Like especially like in the bar when they're just talking to each other, and the guy's got that like silver, top on. I'm like, wow, that's some really good, eye work and stuff like so. You could tell that they actually really tried to do it just in that like part, and they did that throughout the whole show. It was fantastic. It really was. You get to a part and it's just pleasantly surprised. You're like, wow. It's funny because remember like what IAE or probably no, it was probably the Citizen Con where they had the like the 50 submittals for machinimas, and they had little tiny videos. Like if this played during that, this probably would have won. Like automatically. This was so well, like this scene, like when
Well,
he
it could have
interviewed.
been too long because those were 2 minutes long, but yeah.
I would write in I would give a waiver. I would. Don't worry, I would okay it. Like this is okay for 15 minutes. That's fine. But like, yeah, this is just fantastic. Okay, so you could do a 2-minute thing with that, and then actually have him post. That's what I would do. If he was gonna submit for that, if they do it again, you do a 2-minute like intro for the next chapter or whatever, and then he could follow up, just post the rest of it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And that would just get so many people in. So, but this was really well done. It was like already said, the use of the video screens on Orison, kind of showing everybody like it's kind of like yeah, what was that the movie Glass, at the end of the movie Glass. I don't want to give it away,
I
but
still need to see that, but yeah.
there's a lot of people looking at like their smartphones and TVs because this big thing happened, and it kind of reminded me of that, where it's like it's this like all the media like overload gets to everybody really quick, and this is kind of the same thing. It was just really well done, and again, like right now we're watching the facial expressions, and it's just like how many times did he try to just do that, like just to get it right, just so that it would pass the muster. So yeah, it was really well done.
Cool, thank you. Hot and Base, what are your thoughts?
Oh wow, this was I don't even know where to start. It was really great. I love seeing the scenes and places that I've never been before, the little nooks and crannies. There's one particular thing that kind of stood out to me. I don't know how he did it. I've never tried it. How he got both people in the spawning hab that you spawn into when you first come in the game. I didn't know you could get two people in there. That was very interesting to me. I have to try it one day, but I like to see things like that where people experiment and do things that I like me, I've never personally done before. That was cool. The video itself was long, but as all of us have always talked about pacing, it was long, but the pacing was on point and it fit. The facial expression use was great. It made me, when I'm looking at the people, it made me say, wow, I can't wait till they add more characters in the game, more hairstyles, weight sizes and things like that. This was really great. The only thing that has nothing to do with them that I would see that would have made it even better was the movement hesitations. But that's something we'll wait for in the future, because that would have just made this, great. The music was on point. This was nice. It was just A whole lot of things in here was just great. My hat is off to him, and I'm quite sure he spent a lot of time doing this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Kalrati, you wanna go first?
Oh, you can go if you want.
My thoughts were when I was watching it, he mentioned Sinatra. I'm like, is that a long lost ancestor? In relation, that was my thought. And when he started doing that broadcast, I was like, "Oh crap, stuff is about to get real." And you could tell by the dramatic music. And then the music kept on going. I'm like, I love the music at the end. I'm gonna have to find out the different tracks and listen to them on my own. So yeah, this is a great piece done by Dark Media. Good job. Kalrati, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely have to commend Zark. Firstly, on like everyone said, on the delivery of this video, the elements that all came together, the music, the acting, the positioning of the characters, their movements, the scenes and everything. But I also wanted to touch on two things: the legitimate influence of content creators for game events, and the power of the ability to capture and deliver valuable news when it comes to in-game events. Because what Zark did was something that I think echoed what we'd like to see with regards to the impact that news has in the game itself. Traditionally, we would see where news was something that in the game would be something where that talks about events that would either already happened or something that's already happening. Here we saw where Zark kind of and the characters in this video were those who were more proactive and actually kind of ushered in the beginning of citizens lending a hand via the CDF for Siege of Orison. And that kind of reminded me of what they're putting into the game with regards to the new Korea experience. And I say that because let's, implement let's think about other events that may come about where CIG doesn't necessarily need to tell us, okay, an event is occurring here. If Zark and, people like these who cover news and get this kind of information can be so influential to say, okay, this is occurring. These sets of players are doing this, or these NPCs are doing that in the particular area. Let's relay this information and show the impact this is having within the game itself. And if a group of people are seeing this kind of information, then this could actually rally an organic response in the community to respond to that within the game itself, thus ushering in its own player-driven dynamic event. So this is what I actually got from all the hard work that Zark presented here, because it kind of showed you like also an in-between Rogue One-esque kind of story in between the whole Star Wars kind of main movies, because here we saw the event leading up to the actual main Star Wars movie, the Rogue One version of it. So it was really nice to see both the power of information that I think, once we get those elements in the game more, I think Zark Media, if he's willing to do it, can really, capture and push toward influencing people to go in a particular direction with regards to organic dynamic event emergence. And also, well, all of the hard work that they've put together to just make this video itself. So hats off to them. And I definitely am curious as to what's going to happen next.
Yeah, you mentioned. Go ahead.
Yeah, may I ask a question, FC? Look, yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah.
No problem. I was gonna say the only thing that's missing from this, looking at it from a Rogue One thing, is the Darth Vader. That's all. But yeah, go ahead, Pops.
No, my question is, when did this come out?
This came out. This is like 2 days ago, August 30th.
2 days ago. Okay, because I'm just wondering. I know this is part one. Now we're gonna have to wait till part two. I'm just wondering how long a wait we're gonna have to wait for part two.
Yeah, he started recording this, I think, back in May.
May.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Yeah, with part one and then part two going to be so long from now. That's going to be.
Yeah, by the
Yeah.
time part two comes out, we're gonna forget most of what happened in this episode.
Exactly. That's what the thought came through my mind. And the only other thing, when the closed caption translated Orison, it said Morrison. So I'm gonna have to start calling Orison Morrison now.
Let's go to Morrison.
That's
As long
right.
as it's
We're
not
going to Morrison.
Horizon, like Horizon or Verizon.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh man, but part two. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
January 23. Okay.
Oh, maybe.
All right.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's done when it's done. That's a better way to put it.
I mean, well, you know what? There's a lot of TV shows. They'll be recording multiple shows at the same time in order to keep a schedule. So they could have been recording parts for part two at the same
Part
time
two?
that they were doing
Okay.
recording for part one. So
We're
there's
not
always that
professionals. We don't do
possibility.
stuff like that.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking of, because the length of time, and I guess if you could give us our homework ahead of time when you're going to show, but then again, you Griff probably doesn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm going to have to.
It all depends
revisit
on.
this. Yeah.
It just depends on his storyboard, like how well he's he's out. Like they probably showed the Terrapin for like 20 seconds, and I was kind of shocked to see it, but I was like, whoa, that's this Terrapin. And then, but if he knows that, he'll be using it in the third episode, which is, say 2 more beyond this, then he could have just already filmed that. So it just all depends.
Yeah, he could have. He could have. Yeah. I just, my thing is I just wanted it to be closer in time, but like you said, it's done when it's done. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And go map, you make an excellent point. I had the same exact thought when I was watching it. I was like, why wasn't Sinatra wearing a helmet? He was the only one not wearing a helmet, too. I was like, that was just acting for trouble, but maybe that was foreshadowing.
That hair, you can't touch the hair, man.
Okay.
Good point. Fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah, it really made me wait for the hair and stuff to come. Yeah. Variations of character.
All right, so that's it for this episode of Soul Talk. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Admiral Kusanagi, Dark Knight, Fitchface, Gomab, Jade, Cotton Face, and my co-host tonight, Kalrati. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Coming up on Saturday, we have another episode of Soul Voices. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. That's where we talk with members of the community, but it's more a one-on-one instead of this format here that we do on Thursday, Soul Talk. And that's a part of Podcast Saturday, where we started kicking off with our social voices, and then Captain Table, the active pub, and then Relay Station Relay at 9 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UTC. And after that, we have on Sunday. Oh, Kalrati, you want to check?
Right. That was my cue. Okay.
Sunday?
Yeah, sure. So, this Sunday, 4th of September, who goes there? We're going to be talking about strange creatures, alien creatures, all kinds of creative ideas we have behind predators, non-predators, you name it. So, if you've got some ideas or you're curious about all the animals and alienness that exists in the Star Citizen lore, check us out. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's going to be available on Twitch and YouTube same time. So looking forward to that.
Yep, should be a fun show. Maybe some theory crafting stuff going on. And then that's on Sunday. Then on next Thursday, we have another episode of Soul Talk, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday, 1 a.m. UTC. We talk with members of the community about what's going on this week. We cover, as you see, this tonight, ISC and sometime SCL when it's available. And don't forget to check out our reaction and reviews videos on YouTube. Also, if you want to help us out, you can become a Soul Bro, Soul Sis, or Soulmate. Soul Citizen membership has the privilege. Also, follow us on social media. We are Soul Citizens with an S on the end everywhere. Be sure to buy our merchandise. Kalrati, you want to show off your shirt real quick? Yeah, that's too also. Yeah, so we sell shirts, you got everything. You just you got everything. We don't even need that graphic that Griffin made. We can just use you.
I was ready,
No,
man.
Oh, don't start that. Don't start that.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. And we appreciate everybody watching this. Thank you. And face to face, I just want to say, whatever you do, don't slap me around and call me Susan. Get it right. The name is fastcart. Oh, I'm sorry. We got about to say who we're rating. We're rating Maiden Ariana. So send her our love, Maiden Ariana. So thank you.
She's not streaming Star Citizen right now, but she is a huge Starjump member, and she's helped the community a lot. And this is her first time back in a while. So everybody, give you love and support, please.
Yeah, and she took us on a tour of her new house. So
cool.
And speaking of Starjump, I was gonna say, speaking of Starjump Grim, awesome job on the fleet.
Yes.
Awesome job.
Check out the Fleetviewer.
That was so cool.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, thanks for popping in.
Anyone else want to say something before I go?
If we can get Gigi or who goes there, that'll be the perfect show.
Don't feed fast carts.
I'm already in Maiden. I'm already in Maiden stream. Should I jump out of this one?
No, stay there.
double.
Peace, love, and soul, everybody. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Take it easy, everyone.
Vote Pisces.
Pisces.
Making sure we get rated. There we go. It's out.